You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. Goes by the Young Greatness is the name.
Now let's be clear.
What's happening?
Now listen to this, Young
What's
Greatness.
up, boy?
For the past 48 hours, I didn't know how special you was. They
Right.
was like, we got a Young Greatness. I said, I don't know who that is. We need to cancel that interview.
He tried to cancel you like 3 times.
I had no idea who a Young Greatness was.
We
I
held
said,
on.
and what I said he has a big song.
I heard
right
the record.
now.
I was like, yeah, I heard that record before,
Mua.
but
I
you
played
know,
it for you.
But you been knew who I was. You just didn't know me.
yeah, exactly.
It's back, man.
But then this rich African came in the room.
Yeah.
And I said, he ain't with you for no reason.
Right.
Young Greatness, you a special guest now.
It's all good. It's all good.
He has the record Moolah, which is all over the place. You supposed to come to our day party in Charlotte, they said.
Yeah, I was.
What happened?
I was running around.
We wasn't special enough?
No CIAA running around, man. Just jammed up traffic. You know what
You
I'm saying?
got caught up
It's
with some
crazy.
Charlotte vagina. That vagina in Charlotte was special.
Man, it's crazy.
It
out
is
there,
now.
man.
Yes, it is.
Now, how'd you get the name Young Greatness?
Well, one of my homies, from New Orleans, he was one of the dudes that inspired me to rap. He was murdered like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And, like we used to always be in the studio, and he was the one really rapping. I wasn't rapping, but I was the only one with a car. Mm-hmm. So, man, one day I just was like, man, shit, I'm going home and write me some raps too. Mm-hmm. And, after I wrote like my first rap, I was like, I don't even got no name.
We can't curse as much as you do.
My bad. I just like, I don't even have, I don't even have no name, what I'm gonna call myself. He was like, man, Young Greatness. He was like, you're gonna be great one day, bro. You're gonna be better than me. So it just stuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
How
did you
you
go with
escape
Akon?
the mean streets of New Orleans, man?
I mean, to be real with you, New Orleans, it gave me my drive. You know what I'm saying? If you born and raised from New Orleans, our struggles is way different from, a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're a very cultural city. Our city, is based off of emotions and, just how we feeling and what we going through in our life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me going through some of the things I went through, you know what I'm saying, just made me want more, you know what I'm saying, for my life.
You ended up having to move to Houston, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the whole New Orleans went there after Katrina. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I lived that. And, that's why I really started grinding with my music to try to get to the next level.
And how did you hook up with Akon? We see Akon sitting here. How did you with Akon?
Akon don't just be showing up to radio interviews with nobody.
Well,
Last time we said Akon, let's Akon and pound. T-Pain.
T-Pain, Lady Gaga. Who Vincent Hubert says he discovered.
Right.
That's a whole
We'll ask
nother-
him about that in a minute. But talk about Akon.
Well, once I first, signed with Quality Control with QC, same label that had Amigos.
Salute to my guys, QC.
Akon, I'm real good friends with Akon brother Omar. So after he came and he heard like about 10 songs, he was like, I'm calling my brother. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. He came and he wanted to hear 30 songs. Mm-hmm. And each song he was like, that's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. And from one thing led to another, and now we here. You know what I'm saying?
Why you choose to stand by this one so close, Akon?
Man, I just believe that he gonna be the future. Like when I come in, I always like to find acts that I feel gonna be around for a minute. You know what I mean? That can help the legacy of moving it forward. It's no different when I saw Payne. I knew he was gonna be something that would change the game in some form, fashion. You know what I mean? With Jeezy, same old thing. With Thug, same old thing. Like from an urban standpoint, it's every 5 years you're gonna find that artist that's gonna be around for the next 5, or that's gonna define what the next 5 is gonna become. I just feel like greatness is gonna be the next 5 years once he pop.
So you discovered Jeezy and Thug?
Man, you didn't know?
No. I mean, I know, of course, we all know Soul Survivor. My man was just telling me a story about how all these prisoners was on a bus singing Soul Survivor, but I didn't know you discovered them.
Man, listen, at the end of the day, I won't take all credit for Thug, because Reese right here, which was on the ground that helped practically break that kid. You know what I mean? But ultimately, when you look around, our influence has been huge in the business. Mm-hmm. We've been behind the scenes just kind of nurturing, being big brothers and mentors to a lot of these artists out today.
Right. You don't have a problem being behind the scenes, though. It seems like you kind of like it.
I love it. I love being behind the scenes.
Especially when you got a gas station behind your house.
Yeah, one thing I realized, you really can't stop what you can't see coming. And in the hip hop culture, we got a habit of just promoting everything that we got coming before it comes, and before you know it,
right?
It's always some roadblocks at the end. So it's almost like you got to just stay low key until you get it popping, then you announce it.
Now, the same thing can be said about this, though, because, I mean, it's like immediately when they see Young Greatness and they see you sitting by him,
but hold on, Young Greatness,
expectations are high.
It's been it's not like he just stepped into the situation with Akon. He was doing a lot of grinding before he even got there.
Yeah. But he got a top 20 record, too. The record's popping.
But even before that, it's been years.
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't even know that Real Is Back was his record. Like, that's Greatness' record originally.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, ultimately, Uncle Murder jumped on it as a feature, and it became his record. I mean, it made sense for him because it just kind of set him up as a writer. And it let him know also that he was on the right path with the kind of records that he was putting out.
Now, do you sleep with a do-rag? Because them waves look painted on, brother. I know that had nothing to do with nothing. But as a bald head man, I got a little envious just now.
Well, they both got some waves popping now.
Damn.
No, I definitely put the do-rag on in the morning before I pull out, though, for sure.
Okay.
Young Greatness, though, you've had certain other management situations before this, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And what happened? Like, give us that path to where you got to here now.
Well, just, like I said, my cousin, he was managing me for like a long time with my career. His name Chad, he was from New Orleans. And he just was a person that really believed in me. Him and like my other two partners, Big Twine and Bashawn. And, we came up with a plan, like, you already then superseded, the stardom in New Orleans. There's nothing else that you could do here. So we decided to live in Atlanta for 7 days and New Orleans for 7 days for a whole year. So through that process, one day we was just sneaking in V103 doing the interview, and I seen Reese, and I knew seeing her from around Wale, Gucci Mane, and everything. So I'm like, man, I'm about to talk to her. She about to listen to my music. I seen her with everybody, so I just walked up to her and took her phone out of hand and said, look, I'm Young Greatness. I'm from New Orleans. This is my number. Text me so I can sing you some music. So she had never text me. So I just kept on, I got a number. So I kept calling her every day, never answered.
Oh, boy.
One day she finally answered. I said, I got it now.
You thought it was somebody else, probably.
Yeah.
She did.
I popped up at the studio, and at the time I had a record with Juvenile called Buku that we was pushing, in the South. I popped up at the studio, played it for her, and she just was looking like, she was like, send me some more music. So I kept sending her music, and next thing you know, she called me on three-way with Coach K, and he was like, man, wait, where you at? You in New Orleans? Well, you need to get to Atlanta. We got this contract for you right now. And that was it. You know what I'm saying?
How much was the first
signed
contract?
that one?
Yeah. How much was that first one?
Yeah, I mean,
You called no lawyer.
yeah, of course I called a lawyer.
Okay,
bro.
hey, they got you.
Yeah,
They got you.
of course I called a lawyer.
Oh my God.
Of course I called a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, of course we handled the business the right way, but it just was it was like a dream come true for me because that's every rapper dream from New Orleans.
Right.
If you met a rapper from New Orleans, the passion that they have and the hunger. And it might just seem, man, they just say whatever they want to say or they just go extra hard. No, man, we hungry.
Is it harder or easier for artists from New Orleans? Because of course y'all had Cash Money and No Limit.
It's harder.
It's harder.
I'm gonna answer that quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why is it so much harder?
Because we don't have no resources. We don't have a pipeline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't come up here and sit and talk with Angela Yee, you know what I'm saying, and Charlamagne. We don't have no resources. So with no resources, how you expect somebody to hear your music? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just said you don't even know me.
No, I didn't.
Right, but I've been grinding for so long.
I didn't even know that was you.
I probably been grinding just as long as you.
Yeah.
But I'm from New Orleans.
And the reason why I know him is
Yeah.
because of Reese. I saw you with her at the BET Awards.
Yeah, I remember.
And I know Reese always I always show her respect. Like, I know she always get up on stuff early. So I was like, okay, let me pay attention. And then I heard the song.
But see, that's the thing too. A lot of times the songs be bigger than the artist.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it take time for the artist to catch up with how big the song is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. I think I was a victim of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With a couple of my records, and like once again, man, from New Orleans, we just don't have that platform. And
I think every artist is a victim to that until they follow it with another record and another record and another record. Because one record, they never gonna know who you are unless you sigh out there dancing and acting a fool.
Because Akon, I'm sure when you first came out,
Nobody
your song
knew. They
was
just knew it was African. They was like, okay, I was walking down the street, they didn't know who I was, but they was playing my record, passing me by. So you just got to be consistent and keep coming.
I think that's what you really hope for, to have a huge song that makes people want to know who you are. Because
Absolutely.
why would people know who you are before they know your record? Really?
I mean, some people's personality and songs match up immediately, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause I feel like even with Thug just starting to catch up as far as music-wise.
Yeah, because a lot of people ain't know who he was either.
Yeah.
His music was out there crazy.
His
and nobody knew who
personality
he
so
was.
outside of the box, people just remember his personality and the stuff that he wears.
He's just outside of the box.
Right. There you go.
Like, you got to be outside the box to be noticed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm starting to appreciate it. I ain't gonna. You know what really made me appreciate Young Thug? When he got new teeth. When he got new teeth, I was like, this boy focused. For real, man.
I didn't know teeth was that expensive. We had a whole conversation about it, and Charlemagne tried to tell me that teeth cost $150,000.
It can't cost up to that.
That's
much.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they go anywhere
Not for some good teeth.
Yeah,
I
some
know,
good
but I'm
teeth.
saying that's a lot of money. That's why people don't be getting. I'm always like, when people I'm like, why didn't they go get some new teeth? I didn't know it cost.
But that's
that
why
much.
when you see people get teeth and they don't look too good, but they new teeth, that they pay like 20 grand.
You might as well have got a grill. Should have just got a
That's
grill.
expensive.
Now, how you look up Uncle Murder? You and Uncle Murder did the record. I didn't even know it was the same person because you're totally different on that record.
Man, but that's what make me Young Greatness, because I'm like a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? I could adapt to anything. You know what I mean? But me and Murder, we was already cool before we even did, the record. And I just wind up, like I said, once, I linked up with Reese, she was like, man, we need to go to New York and work with Reefer. So I didn't even know who Reefer was.
The producer, right?
A lot of people I didn't know. So when we came here, Reefer, he didn't want to play no beats because he didn't know who I was.
See?
So I'm like, man, hold on, man, they tripping, man. Man, because sometimes you could be hotting us out, but when you come here, you ain't
Ice cold.
nobody.
And vice versa.
You're nobody. So I'm like, he tripping, man. I'm about to bang his lights out. He got me messed up in here. So I told Reese, man, give me that auxiliary car. So I put the phone and play the music. He looked at Reese and said, man, this dude is crazy. Reese said, yeah, so can you pull up a beat so we can do a song? So he pulled it up, and I just went in like 15 minutes, did the hook and the first verse on, on The Real Hitters Back with me and Uncle Murder. And Uncle Murder was just walking in the studio. When he walked into a hit, and Reese was like, well, what you standing around there looking crazy for? Go put a verse on there. He jumped in, he put a verse on it, and
Reese Debo over there.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
man,
that's
she
Debo.
did
That's why I
Yeah.
can't believe you just took her phone the first time y'all met.
yeah, oh man, I'm serious. I'd have took your phone too. Oh, what is his name? Charlemagne?
Oh, Charlemagne would have went crazy.
I'd be like, hey, white man in the suit. Handle that right now. You see?
Start shooting now.
That's it. Hey, you know what you do. You know what you get paid for.
So the record, so it just
that
turned out
Charlie's stupid,
when we did
man.
it. They was so excited about it. I went back to New Orleans, so they was calling like, this is gonna be the one, man. I'm telling you, bro, just let's just push it, man. Let's get on the phone, come out with something. So weeks going by, and they just jumped the gun. Next thing you know, I'm seeing Uncle Murder here, Uncle Murder there. I'm like, this dude is not playing. And so by the time I got to New York, I didn't know how big the record was. I came up for All-Star Weekend. It was popping. Everybody was like, you Young Greatness, man. That's Real Hitters Back, man. That's the record. And you know what I'm saying? It could have been bigger than it was if, we'd collectively put together a plan. But, you know what I mean?
Did you
it
get some
might,
because of the record in New York, though?
of course.
Okay. That's when you know you got. That's when you know your record
all that
moving the
matters,
right way. That's when you know your record
And what
moving.
about you, Akon, musically? What the hell when you drop it again?
Yeah, I'm about to start dropping all these records this year. So musically, I'm back. I'm about to be back in full effect. I had a lot of work to do. I had to secure my future first, man.
Yeah, you was doing a lot of philanthropy stuff. Like we saw the meme and read the story about how all the lights you provided for people in Africa.
Tell the people about that.
So I got an energy company in Africa. And what y'all actually seeing is really social entrepreneurship. But I marketed it like it was a foundation, because when people look at Africa, they always look at it from a standpoint of charity. And I knew that was a good way to get the other ear. You follow what I'm saying? So we use it almost like a marketing tool, because even though it was a for-profit business, it was kind of structured where it could actually feed people and employ people out there. So we use all the locals as our employees. We got over 5,000 employees now, and the fastest energy company in the world, growing energy company in the world. So all we do is straight solar and renewable energy.
So do you have your PR people put that out?
No, I didn't do anything. Actually,
Gotcha.
I do everything quiet. I didn't even when it came out, I was shocked. I didn't even realize so many people even knew about it. Because when you're actually doing something out there, it's just a matter of time before people get to know what it is and kind of understand and be alerted to what you're doing. So it was one of them things that God just put it out there to where people just knew what it was, and they felt like it was something important to promote.
Yeah, I didn't even understand why they compared the two. Like they would compare Caitlyn Jenner announcing her transition to you putting the lights on. Like this is what should be news and not this. I'm like, it's kind of two different things.
It was completely.
Completely. Yeah, not kind.
When has
Totally different. It was totally.
Akon was turning the lights on. Caitlyn was turning her lights off. Turning the lights off on Bruce.
This guy is crazy.
Now for Young Greatness, you did work with Juvenile, and you said he's one of your greatest influences.
Yeah.
How did that happen, and are you getting a lot of support?
Yeah, of course. New Orleans love me. You know, I mean, you ask anybody from New Orleans, man, when you've been grinding for so long, you know, those people are so loyal. They're gonna love everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? And Juvie, you know, he like the uncle. You know, he called like, what? I heard that song, man. You just do that lip over, man. You better than that. You know, he like one of them kind of people. Right. So, you know, like to have him, you know, as a person that, you know, is paying attention and always, you know, showing support, that's love. You know what I'm saying?
Birdman didn't try to sign you? Because I know he loves signing New Orleans artists.
Well, you know, me and Slim had a long, intricate conversation. You know what I'm saying? And but it was after, you know, I already had my deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it wasn't too long ago though. You know, he reached out, he was like, bro, you've been very consistent. I don't know if everybody else paying attention, but you've been consistent for like 13, 14 months. All your music is crazy. You know, I want to put something together. You know, but, you know, unfortunately, you know, I was already in the situation, you know what I'm saying? But he gave me a lot of advice, you know what I'm saying, that I'm using today.
How do you balance being on the like brink of breaking in the streets? Because you know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of like right in the middle, and we see what's been happening to a lot of artists lately that's right in the middle, like Chinks, God Bless the Dead, Bankroll Fresh. Like how you balance it?
I mean, the key is, you know, letting your team formulate a plan for you to make it. That's why people like Akon, Reese, you know what I'm saying, Coach KP with Quality Control, you know what I'm saying, because you can't do everything. Right. The best thing you could do is just stay in the studio and make good music and trust in your team to build a platform for you to make it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the balance is right there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, at first I didn't understand that. I was just wild gunfire. Man, I'm going to do these records, put it out. Before I had a deal, I had songs with Meek Mill, Pusha T. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, go on YouTube, Juvenile. But I thought that was the correct things to do, to get features and just shoot the video and put it on YouTube.
How are you getting all these features?
Man, you know, I was coming with my own bread.
Oh, you coming with them bags?
Yeah, I was coming with my own bread. Because
how was you making that money, Young Greatness?
I mean, you know, that's a different story.
Don't indict yourself.
Okay. You know, that's a different story, but you know,
you did get locked up though for a period of time.
Yeah, you know, I did some time. That was my turning point, you know, in my life though. You know,
that was the point. For?
You know, I mean, you know,
if it's on record, it's okay.
Yeah, you know, drugs, of course. Okay. You know, just trying to do something to, you know, help chase my dream.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't bothering nobody, you know what I'm saying? But I was just a young black dude from New Orleans trying to make it.
So that was your turning point?
Yeah, that was my turning point. That was the point where I realized, because when I went to jail, I used to get like magazines with Drake on it and all these, you know, I was like, who is Drake? You know, so as I'm reading the letters and stuff, reading the magazine, I was like, oh no, I got to get out of here, man, because, you know, it felt like time was just passing you by. You know, so I knew when I came home, I had to get to it, so I got right to it. From the day I got out, I already had a studio set up at the house and everything. So I was, you know, I was.
So in
ready
a way,
to go
you
to
feel
work.
like if you wouldn't have gotten locked up, you might not have.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I was already hungry, but Jill, man, I was in Gina, Louisiana. Do you know about the Gina 6?
Yes, absolutely.
We sure do.
All right, so I don't even have to say no more. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst place ever to be. Period. You know what I'm saying? If you are, you know what I'm saying, African American, you know what I'm saying, that ain't no place for you to be. And you know, like that changed my whole life. That experience, you know, that made me be like, man, I gotta be something versus this. Ain't no career in this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the career right here for me. You feel me? So, you know, I just went out, you know, I just prayed and just told God, show me the way. You know what I'm saying? Put the people around me to make it. You know, now we here, I'm talking to y'all.
Now Akon, you was in the news lately because you said you believe Kesha should be let out of her deal because of the whole rape allegation.
He's like, don't keep somebody that don't want to stay.
Yeah, I mean, as a record exec, I'm not keeping an artist that don't want to be here. Period.
So if Lady Gaga was like, back then, no, I don't want to be here.
I'd be like, babe, it's okay.
Especially if she accused you of rape.
Especially.
But an artist like, let's say, T-Pain, right? T-Pain, you basically put your arm around T-Pain when everybody was making fun of him.
If T-Pain accused Akon of rape, T-Pain definitely got to go. I'm coming to get him for it. I'm like, Pain, you got to get up out of here now with that.
But if he did that after he made all those millions, you would still keep him under contract. You still get paid from him, but you just wouldn't want to be connected to him.
No, I mean, it's like
you would drop everything?
There's a process in business, right?
Right.
If there's money owed to me, it's not a problem. I will release you, so you can at least make the money back.
Right.
But right now, she's just being sat there and on the shelf with no resources to make the money back. So he ain't making no money, she ain't making no money. And it becomes a disgruntled situation. So she's doing whatever or saying possibly whatever to get out the situation. It only affects him.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? So, and it's a thin line between a male and a female. I'm not saying that she's not telling the truth, but I'm not saying that she's not telling a lie either.
Right.
But you just never know. When you're in
know.
a position where you're desperate, anything can be said, anything can be done. So what you want to do, you want to prevent that altogether. You know what I mean? Because when an artist signs to you or says, okay, look, I'm putting my career in your hands, they're doing this because they believe in you. They feel like you are somebody that they can look up to, that could be a mentor to their future, and they trust you with their life. Because this is our life right here. Like, this is the only way we make money. Really, outside of this, I don't know where I would be. Music opened the doors for everything I'm doing today. So you never want to stagnate an artist because of the fact that you got a personal issue going on.
So even if Dr. Luke feels in his heart, I didn't do anything wrong, he should still.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's a smarter business decision.
Or
Because guess what? Kesha may owe a bag, and she may be in a position where she's in a position of debt. That's not a problem. I'll release you, go sign wherever you want to sign.
Just pay me my
But
money.
just know that when you sign there, a percentage of your proceeds will go towards, clearing your debt. When it's cleared, then you're completely free.
I feel like a lot of times artists get themselves in situations where they sign a deal with somebody and then they feel like, man, now I got to pay this person that. And a lot of times they want to get out of a situation. I feel like that happens, pretty
No,
frequently.
it happens a lot. I mean, I've signed I don't know how many artists in my day. You know what I mean? Some artists I had time to actually, nourish and hug and really co-sign. And some artists I never had to. Gaga was prime example. I never really had to co-sign her outside of the beginning just to get her popping. After that, she was on cruise control. But you got somebody, like you said, like a T-Pain, because it's urban, you got to have that co-sign. People got to know the affiliation is real. So you got to be there and people got to see your face and it's got to be proven.
Is Gaga still signing you?
Nah.
now, who really signed Gaga? Because Vincent
Herbert
was here, and he said he discovered
So
Gaga.
just to make it very clear, Gaga was with Vincent 2 years before I discovered her. Gaga was probably in and out of deals. She probably went through maybe 5 record deals before she landed at
L.A.
Interscope.
Reid actually said he dropped her, and
Yeah,
that was a huge
he had
mistake
her.
in his
LA
memoirs.
LA had her as well. So she went through a lot of labels. So when she was at Interscope, that's when my deal was closing at Interscope. Now, her life at Interscope probably wasn't going because she was already there 2 years. So when I came, I kind of saw it and knew what that was. So I sat with Jimmy Iovine. I said, yo, Jimmy, I found the artist that I want to sign to my label and I want to take to the next level. He said, who? I said, Gaga. So he was like, all right, cool. Let me talk to Vince and see if there's something to be worked out. I sat with Vince. Vince was like, I'm cool. Troy at the time was managing her. I fought to keep both of them in line at the end of the day because it was a position where I had the power to just take her if I wanted to. But I wouldn't have did that because, first of all, Vince had already, invested so much time into this girl. And Troy, to me, was an amazing manager. He just needed a shot with the right artist. And we were all black young kids trying to make it. In my mind, I'm like, yo, we can all come and get it. I got the platform that everybody gonna run with. I got the brand internationally. I got the producers. I got the writers. We could provide her the music. Why not? And that's how it happened. So once I signed her, a year later, it was all she wrote.
Do you and Vince argue about that?
Never.
Never.
How did she get off the label? How did she get off your label then?
Well, what happened was, I always looked at this like a business. You're going to run something all the way to the end. And everybody know that when you got it and when it's at the top, when it's worth something, that's when you pull out. So when she was at that peak, and I felt like musically she couldn't get no bigger, the opportunity came where I can sell some shares and get a big check or hold on and just kind of let it ride for a long period of time. But I just feel like every 10 years is going to be a new Gaga.
You was right on that, though, because musically she ain't really been popping, but she popping on that
On the
acting
film
tip.
side.
Yeah,
Then me knowing her, she's not the kind of person to stay in one thing too long anytime because she's too talented. And I know she wanted to express all them other talents. So music had paved the way at that point for her to do other things. And I kind of saw that happening because even her system was changing. Certain people were moving around her, getting fired, getting rehired. And I saw the destabilization in that area, and I said, okay, you know what?
Time to pull
This is
out.
the point where she's making her own decisions.
Right.
I ain't making decisions for her. Troy ain't making decisions for her. And Vince ain't definitely making decisions for her. So now is a good time to make that move. So I, grab the bag and let it move.
You good for grabbing the bag, boy. Akon's good for grabbing the bag, man.
Filthy rich. Now, when it comes to Young Greatness, do you make sure you stand by him close because you kind of regret, like maybe, because you were supposed to sign Drake. You said you could have signed him, but you didn't.
Yeah, because actually Cardinal Official had brought me Drake's demo.
Right.
I had never met him in person at that time. And it's funny to say, though, because I know Drake even knows at this point, he didn't sound the same at that time. Like, it wasn't that Best I Ever Had sound.
Right.
It was more like an Eminem sound, really. And I just, at that time, I didn't feel like, from the demo, which I heard that Cardinal brought me, it didn't sound as original as I would have liked it to be. And then 2 years later, I guess he must have found himself, because with artists' talent, it's just a matter of time before they find themselves and get the feeling what they represent. And when that Best I Ever Had record came on, I was like, yo, Cardi, is that the same kid that you brought me? He said, yeah, tried to tell you. I'm telling you, he out of here. So by the time I was going to try to submit a deal at that moment, everybody was on the Sylvia Rome, the whole, and it was like numbers to the point where I was like, I can't even compete, so I'm just going to let that go.
So how do you avoid not making those mistakes again?
Well, you can't. You know, you just never really know. Some things are meant for you, some things ain't. You know, and I think whatever, you know, the path that he took was perfect for him because obviously he's where he's at. You know, some people are just meant to go under different channels, and some people are meant to, you know, you're going to eventually share those lanes in the future. But he is own made man. I think he did an amazing job with his career. You
feel pressure greatness? Because you know the type of people that Akon has worked with, that signed. Do you feel like I have to be on that level?
I mean, I'm going to be on that level because the caliber of music I make. I don't feel no pressure doing this.
Right.
This is a small job for me.
Right. Are you about to be on the Freshman XXL cover?
I'm going to claim it. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
I'm going to claim it.
Put it out there.
Yeah, he was just up there.
I was up there yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Went up there, played some new music. They went crazy.
You sure you ain't related to Slow Bucks? Don't he look
like
Slow
Bucks? We go crazy.
See, everybody say that.
I see him, he look like Slow Bucks.
Just like Slow.
Hey, everybody say that.
You sure you ain't related to Slow on the
He might be slow rapping.
I might be. I might be related to him.
He might be slow rapping.
Hey, Akon, do you feel like you, as an individual, get the credit you deserve? I'm talking about from the whole totality of music, to everything you're doing in Africa.
You know what's crazy, Shaw? I was never into this for the credit. Mm-hmm. You know, I was into it for creating a legacy because when I first came into the business, I was doing like R&B records over hip hop tracks. Like it was like R&B. That wasn't even a genre for it. Mm-hmm. Then we jumped off of that and went into the 808 claps. Then the whole industry grabbed onto that. Then I signed T-Pain and put the auto-tune on him. Then everybody grasped for that. Then we jumped off of that and brought David Guetta into the United States and went into dance music. Everybody jumped into that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I always felt like we were at the tipping point of where music was going and how it was changing. And then I realized when I look back of how our style even influenced all the newer artists today and how many of those acts came through our channel before they even popped out. Mm-hmm. You know, like if I was sitting here on an ego trip trying to name every artist that we touched or every artist that we influenced or how much that we brought to the game, I would not only sound arrogant, but it'd be ignorant because I always looked at it from a standpoint of we all have a role to play in what we do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes your role may not be the guy up front saying, okay, I did this. It just may be the guy that people are inspired by that creates something else. Right. You know what I mean? So I never really, and if you notice, like as many hits if I might have written for myself or other people or records that I might have produced for everybody else, if it was about acknowledgement, I would have been like Kanye for real, like jumping on every podium. Because if you notice, I've never received a Grammy, never received the MTV award, never received. No, I've never received an award ever.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Ever. Like the only award I ever received, and I still got it to this day, was a Music Choice Awards. Wow.
And
but that was it.
It's crazy too though because you one of the artists that never got flack for crossing over. You know, as soon as a black artist crossed over, like, oh, he sold out, he popped down. You never got that.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, I was thankful of that. You know what I mean? But because I would go from a Sweet Escape with Gwen Stefani to Still Will Kill with 50 Cent.
So you think that's what it was because you kept a foot in both genres, really?
Yeah, I definitely kept a foot in both genres because I didn't really want to be boxed in either. You know, I was scared honestly to be completely urban because to do hip hop all day every day is just too much pressure. Because black people are just hard to satisfy, so it's like it's so much. You know what I mean? Like, you could be the hottest that year, and all it takes is one record to people that forgot about you and moved on to whoever the hot new. Every year is a new hot.
Absolutely.
Every year, like it doesn't fail.
Absolutely.
But it's just so much work, just satisfying our people, man. It's a lot.
Do you even need music at this point?
No, it's a hobby at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Young Greatness?
Uh-oh, your hobby.
Just a hobby, bro. Oh, damn.
Listen, he was doing something right out of me, huh?
So what's next for Young Greatness?
Oh man, I'm just working, bro. You know, I have I dropped a mixtape last year called Try to Tell Them. Came out July 24th. You know that mixtape kind of got me a lot of attention. So, you know, we're gonna put it out again and reload it. You know what I'm saying? Edition with 3 new songs, 3 videos. I also have I Try to Tell Them 2 coming out and Can't Rush Greatness. Oh. So I'm just working. You know what I'm saying?
So if everybody that's just seeing this and just knowing you for the first time, what's the project you would tell them, this is what I want you to listen to get a good understanding of who I am?
Well, I try to tell them.
I try to tell them. That's hands down.
Okay.
My mixtapes right now. I try to tell them. You're going to know everything about me.
I'm downloading that right now.
Yeah, all right. You're going to know everything about me.
Well, it's The Breakfast Club. It's Young Greatness. Akon, good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.